I'm James, and I'm going to be talking about my trip to Africa. The first thing we did was arrive at Cape Town and unpack. After that, we decided to go visit the Castle of Good Hope. The Castle of Good Hope was built in the 17th century. Also, in 1936, it was declared a historical monument. Next, me and my family went to visit the breathtaking Camps Bay. One of the things I learned there was that the beach attracts foreigners and natives every year. Also, we went to the aerial cable to Table Mountain. On the aerial cable, a one-way trip is about 4 to 5 minutes. There is only 2 cars going up the mountain. Lastly, the aerial cable is able to hold up to 65 passengers. The last place we visited was Robben Island. On this island, there was a prison that held Nelson Mandela. From there, we went to North Tochobe National Park. While I was there, I photographed 6 different animals from the African savanna. The first animal I saw was a giraffe. Giraffes are the tallest mammals in the world. Also, they can run at speeds of 35 miles an hour. Lastly, they only need to drink water every few days, whereas it would take a human 3 to 4 hours to dehydrate. Next animal I took a picture of was the hippos. An adult male hippo can weigh up to 3,000 to 4,000 pounds. Lastly, they can live to 40 to 50 years. Also, I took a picture of a couple elephants. In the world, there are only 3 recognized elephants. And lastly, all these elephants are scattered from sub-Saharan Africa to South and Southeast Asia. I also took a picture of a couple zebras. Unlike horses, zebras have never been domesticated. Also, on a zebra, each one of their patterns is unique to them. Lastly, zebras live in a variety of habitats. Next, I will talk about buffaloes. First thing about buffaloes is they weigh about 1,300 pounds. Lastly, buffaloes are dangerous. They kill about 200 people every year. Lastly, I will be talking about the sable. It is most active in early morning and late afternoon. In the world, only about 75,000 remain. Lastly, they can weigh up to 400 to 500 pounds. Next, since we were so close, we decided to visit Victoria Falls. Victoria Falls was established in 1855. The river flowed from the Zambezi River. We also visited Devil's Pool. It was breathtaking. Lastly, we also did a guided tour to see more of the wonders of the falls. Also, we traveled to the Kabali Forest National Park. It was established in 1993. The whole forest is 766 square kilometers. While we were there, we saw some amazing wildlife. First, we saw a chimp. We also saw a leopard, and lastly, we saw a warthog. Next, we went to Nairobi, where we saw a mix of wealth and poverty. First was to show wealth. Nairobi has its own national park and does safari trips, but 2.5 million people live in the slums. It is the biggest slum in Africa. The slums contain 60% of the population and 6% of the country. Next, we did something stupid, and we traveled to Mogadishu, Somalia. First thing we did was check out Lido's beach. It may be beautiful here, but the natives are not always welcoming. Lastly, we went to Bakora Market, and the largest open market in the nation. Lastly, as the 2 weeks started to end, we went to Timbuktu to check out the mosque. A fact about the mosque is that it was built in AD 1400. Lastly, the mosque was built with Islamic architecture. I hope you enjoyed my slideshow on African vacation I took.